basically what I did was, let's see if I can get this in view here. Go into the hole here and move the drill around as much as you can. Try to get as much of that plastic rounded out, because we only need a little tiny bit. I don't have the exact size drill bit, so just put the drill in and move it in a circular motion just to make the hole a little bigger for this thing. Now I'm going to take this, put it into the hole, and just screw it right in. Okay, it was a little difficult, so I didn't do this on camera, but what I did is I screwed that in to the hole. I actually had to put a nut on the inside here, up at the back, so when I tighten it up, everything becomes tight. And then you see the red and black wires there. All I need to do is put a little solder on the tips of these red and black wires down here that go to the motherboard, attach them to that, make sure everything's insulated, and we'll be okay. Okay, this is basically the finished product. You can see I tucked in. I connected the two wires. I put white electrical tape around that just as a signal and red around the other one. And I just kind of tucked them in there so they're out of the way. Next thing we're going to do is put in the CD drive. Everything's back together. CD drive's in. Let's flip it around, plug in the power cord, and see what happens. Okay, moment of truth. I'm always afraid I'm going to see an explosion every time I put it in for the first time here. Okay, that fits in nice. Hey, we got a blinking light there. That's a good sign. It means the battery's charging. Hit the power. Power lights are lit. And you can't really see there, but the thing's on. And there's Windows. Power jack fixed. Okay, what do you do if you have a water damaged laptop? Well, the first thing I do is I make sure I pull out the battery. And I don't even try to power the laptop on. Pull the battery out, don't hit the power button, and get ready to take the whole thing apart, because we're going to inspect the motherboard and see if there's any moisture or liquid still on the motherboard. So I'm starting to take some components out. We want to get to motherboard level here. If you suspect there's any liquid in the motherboard at all, do not power the computer on, pull the battery out, take it all apart, and look at the motherboard in every little crevice of the motherboard. That's what we're going to do, and that's what I recommend on water damaged laptops of any sort. Don't power them on even when the customer comes in. Don't let the customer power them on when it's in your shop, because you know they brought it in because it was damaged because of the water, and it can't get any better if they're sitting there trying to charge it with power. So we're going to take the screws out of this. On a Toshiba laptop, you can take screws out and be somewhat reckless, knowing that there's holes where the screws go, and next to each hole where you're taking the screws out of, there's a little label indicator telling you what size screw goes in that hole. So it makes it easy for us to put them back together. I'm losing a little bit of magnetic touch on my screwdriver there, otherwise it would come pulling right out. Okay, when you're sure you got all the screws out of the bottom, we're going to flip it over and look at the top. And the first thing I'm going to do is get that hinge cover plate off, and it's different on every laptop. Some laptops don't even have this hinge cover plate, but this is the key to getting the keyboard and the screen off, and that's what we want to do. Gently, if you have to, put some pressure on the sides there and try to pull it up. Okay, it took me a little while, but I finally figured out the way to get this up. Now, since we have all the screws out from the bottom of the computer, we know there's no screws holding this plate in. Just pop it up. Now let's look for water damage here right on the spot. And usually, guys, on a water damaged keyboard, there's little hope for them. If keys aren't working after you spill water in them, I would look at just getting a new keyboard. Let's detach the ribbon cable from the keyboard here.